This is the exact size of the ring that you want. In this case, I made it to fit a 7. So now the ink is dry, so I'll take my dividers, and by trial and error I'll try to find the exact center of that wire, okay, of that 12 gauge wire. So I did it, and I did find it, and all I'll do is just draw the line across that, and then I'll have my center. So my next step is to open the calipers, or take the calipers to 2 millimeters apart. I'll start right at the beginning of the line, and I'll mark. Okay. Make sure that you are marking. Press really hard so you can make that mark, that little, like a pilot hole, right? We'll call it that way. And skip to the other one. There you go. Make sure that you're in that center line, okay? Always. Mark, and then I move, and I go to the next, marking in the center as much as I can. I'm getting to the end already, and I have marked all my pilot holes. You'll see why I do this later on. Great. They're all there. There you see. They are 2 millimeters apart each mark. Something, please make sure that your wire is completely flat and straight. Okay, so it sits against the bench. There's no space in between, okay? Make sure of that before you start with the next step. This size is my 7, okay? But you see, I really need to make this really flat and even. So I'm going to take my file, and I'm going to make sure for the joint is even, okay? That's good enough. Now I take my saw and I placed a 3/0 blade, okay? So let's put some wax to preserve that blade. Okay, now that we have this straight, and we marked all those pilot holes, now we're going to take the saw with a 3/0 blade, which is the one that I use for this project, and going to let's take a break for a minute, just to remind you to never go without checking. You saw a little bit, and then you check the depth. So remember to do that. Never cut through the wire. Guys, I call them pilot holes. In this case, it's because, you know, that's going to be the hole that's going to guide me in the entire journey of making this list, you know. So that's the reason why I call them my pilot holes, really. As you can see now, all the cuts are done, 1 millimeter deep. Looks good. Now we have a beautiful pattern. The cuts are made 2 millimeters apart with 1 millimeter depth each cut. So it's a pretty pattern. I love it. Even to make a ring like that without any further work would do it too, and polish it well, and I think it will look really pretty. But now we are going to form it into a ring and continue working. I formed the ring. My Superior Ring Bender pepper tools. Really, really nice. You can do it with anything, but I just have this and I just used it. It's pretty nice, right? Beautiful. There's the seam. Okay, so we're going to place a solder. There you go. Flows. Done. Okay, now the ring is fully soldered, and where the solder was, right here, because it filled up the gap, I went back with a saw and I did the 1 millimeter depth again to make it even with the rest around the ring. Okay, so now we're going to create that texture and shape on each of the little squares. Okay, so we're going to create like a facet using a needle file, one tiny needle file, the coarse one. I don't remember the number. I'm not sure if it's a 2, but it's a tiny one needle file, okay, and it's a coarse. So let's do that. So as you can see here, I marked one of the little squares with a Sharpie. I used the red. It's okay. You can use any color, actually. So I'm going to take the needle file like I told you, and I'm going to create a little facet. I'm going to file the edges like in a curve. I mean, I'm going to do it to the next one and so forth. I'm going to do the same technique on one side first, and then I'll turn around the ring and do the other side. It will create like a facet, actually. I call it my own specialty wire. And so forth, I've been doing this to each little square. I'm sure that who works in wax can do the same job. You know, I'm sure of that, but I don't work in wax. I work directly on metal, so I'm doing my own, I would say, carving. As you guys can see that I have been curved, like each little square, you see, on the right side. From the bottom up on the other to the other top right, it's like a curve, semi-curve. It creates a facet. So I'm going to continue to do that, okay, around the ring, and then turn it around and do it on the other side. So I have an even, like, faceted square.